a painful experience. Like, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I've never felt that bad in my life, and I really thought I was going to die. Like, I kid you not. So hey, what's up guys, it's your girl Ktura Kay, and I'm here with another video. So today I'm going to be doing a story time, which I have not done one of these in a long time, but I really wanted to come on here and share my experience with COVID-19 and how it has been spreading and taking over the world in a sense. You know, like, everybody's on lockdown right now. I'm on lockdown myself here in California, so I am, you know, just here at home, just chilling out. But in January, I got sick. So this is so crazy because COVID-19 has been spreading so rapidly. And the day that I got sick was the day Kobe died. And I remember it because it was definitely a memorable day. And I went to church and I went to Roscoe's. And, like, you know, that's where everything, you know, like, kind of started. I went home that Sunday and, you know, my throat was just killing me. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm getting sick. Like, I have to go to work tomorrow. Like, I was just really upset about it. I just knew I was going to get sick because I just felt so bad. And the next day, sure enough, like, I could barely even get out of bed. I didn't know what to do. I ended up calling like my supervisor, like, I feel horrible, I'm gonna go to the doctor. So being in the military, you of course you have to go to like a military doctor, and I should have just went to the ER. I'm just gonna be real with y'all, but I ended up going to my military doctor, and it's closer to me than the hospitals, and I just felt like it would be quicker. So I went there, you know, had to beg them to see me because they didn't have any appointments and all this stuff. So the girl that worked at the front desk, she's super cool, so she was like, hey, you know, I'm gonna see if they can squeeze you in, if I can get you in with the nurse. So I spoke with the nurse that morning until it was time for my appointment that afternoon. So she checked my temperature. I had a fever, of course. I just felt horrible. I was ready to go home, go lay down, and that's what I went to try to do. So I think I went home, but I ended up going to my appointment later that day. They checked me, and they didn't even check me for the flu, I don't think, because they didn't put that thing up my nose, because I ended up going to the emergency room the week after because my symptoms were getting worse. So anyways, make a long story short, they just diagnosed me with the upper respiratory infection. They drew my blood and they did a test. They gave me all of these medicines. So they basically gave me a cold pack. That's what they call it. So if you have a cold, they have these, you know, this set of medicine that they give everybody that has a cold. And so they gave me a cold pack, which, like I said, had Tylenol, I think Zyrtec, and they gave me this cough medicine and like an antibiotic. So that was that. They only gave me 2 days off, and like I said, on that third day I was still sick. I tried to go back into work and I almost passed out. Like, my temperature was even higher than it was before. My temperature was at like a 102, and I just, oh my god, I just could not take it. So I ended up going back to work and trying to finish, because we were working on a big project. So I was trying to finish up everything, and then I ended up going home. And after, you know, after the day was over, which I probably should have went home after I went to the doctor anyways, but they didn't give me a pass. They were like, well, you're good to go back to work. And I'm just like, okay. So I just, you know, went to work, and I really wanted to finish this project that we were working on and do my part. So after that day was up, it happened to be Friday. So I ended up going home. I had the whole weekend to myself to try to recuperate and, you know, get well. And I was eating soup and spicy noodles and just trying to get rid of this upper respiratory infection. So Monday rolled around, y'all. I could barely get out of bed. I felt 10 times worse. I literally woke up at like 4 in the morning to go use the bathroom, which is something I do every day because I drink so much water during the day. So I went to the bathroom. On the way coming back, like, I was out of breath. I couldn't even breathe. Every time I inhaled, I was like coughing because I couldn't take in any breaths. I couldn't breathe in. I couldn't take any deep breaths either. So I was just coughing. It was just crazy. Like, it was the worst. I was having chills. I got a little mini space heater in here, and so I cut on my little heater because I didn't feel like going to, you know, cut the air off, but the air wasn't even like on sky high. It's January and it's in LA, so it's not super cold and it's not hot. So, you know, it was on a fair, it was on a regular temperature, you know, so it wasn't super cold. So I put my little space heater, and you can place it on top of things because it's that small. And I just, you know, tried to go back to sleep, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't breathe, and I was just getting scared. Like, and I thought about my dad. My dad actually recently got diagnosed with cancer, and he passed away from it also. And when he got sick, like, he would try to breathe in and he couldn't breathe, and he had a lot of fluid in his lungs. And I thought that was something that I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm having symptoms that my dad has. Like, what if I have cancer? I just really didn't know. I wasn't that freaked out. So I didn't know what to do. I called my mom. She freaked out, and she was like, you need to go to the emergency room, this and this and this. So I called. They have a nurse hotline. In the military, they have a nurse hotline. So I called the nurse hotline, told her everything. She was like, yeah, well, you need to probably go to urgent care because I'm trying to call the military facility at the base you work at, and they're not answering the phone. So I'm like, okay. So they gave me a referral to go to urgent care near me, and I'm just like, you know what, I really don't want to go to urgent care. I thought about it on the way. My mom was like, take an Uber. I'm like, no, I'm probably gonna just drive so I can have a ride there and back. Like, I don't have to worry about waiting on anybody. I can just, you know, I think I'm all right to drive. You know, I'm weak, but I can probably do it. I'm gonna try to do it. And so I got in the car. As I'm on the way there, I'm like, I called them back. I'm like, can you please cancel my referral? Like, I think I'm gonna go to the ER because I feel like they're gonna send me to the emergency room anyways. So I ended up going to the emergency room, and they checked my lungs. They ended up checking my nose. They put a swab deep in my nose and checked it for flu. That came back negative. They checked my lungs, and they claimed they didn't see anything, no fluid or anything like that. So I did not know what to do. Like, I mean, they literally gave me some of the same medicines that the military doctor gave me, but I think they gave me one thing that was different. The dosage was also stronger. I had to go to 2 pharmacies, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, this day is just crazy. Like I said, I couldn't breathe, and this was going on my 2nd week, and they told me like, oh, it's going to be 14 days until this clears up, and like, they already knew. So I was like, okay. So, you know, I finally recovered, thank God, but I knew after like a few weeks, like once COVID-19 started spreading rapidly, and like today told that I think COVID-19 had just hit the California area, and I think I had it. I really do. Once they started coming on the news talking more about the symptoms, because some people had the symptoms mixed up in the beginning. Some people had all of the symptoms mixed up, and when they started saying it was like flu-like, and you know, you test negative for the flu, but it's still the same symptoms. You can't breathe, you have a high fever, and I had all of those symptoms. And my mom was like, I think you had the coronavirus. I'm like, you might be right. Well, my mom, like, she's always trying to diagnose me with something, but when she told me that, like, I knew right then. I'm like, I definitely think I had the coronavirus. So it's not a joke. I know it's like all of these memes and stuff going around, but this is really serious. Like, it's okay to, you know, try to make light of the situation and be optimistic about it. People, you know, use that as a coping mechanism, as far as like, you know, using laughter to get rid of the pain. So I mean, if that's your way of doing it, then hey. But you know, it's really people out here dying from it, and it's super sad. Like, it's so depressing. You definitely have to be careful, because like, people's family members have it. They're dying, they're on their deathbeds, they're on ventilators, and some people don't even have ventilators because there's a shortage. And like, this is very serious. Like, I've seen so many videos of nurses. My best friend is a nurse. Nurses crying and just panicking because they don't have enough equipment, and they're scared themselves. Like, you know, like, and if a nurse and a doctor is scared of getting this, then it's definitely serious. So you definitely want to take it serious and not really take it so much as a joke. I know that, you know, but still, like, it's all fun and games until someone gets hurt. And you know, you would hate for that to be you, and you like, oh, posting memes and posting like really crazy stuff like you don't believe it until it happens to you. And like I said, it's a painful experience. Like, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And just be safe out there, y'all. That's just all I gotta say. Just be safe. So I definitely recommend, like, if you have any symptoms, you definitely want to go to the emergency room. You want to definitely get checked. Like I said, they gave me antibiotics and stuff, so I don't know if that medicine even helped or it was just the virus running its course. Because after the 2 weeks, like, I started actually feeling better. And oh my goodness, you just have to, like I said, like they're saying on TV, make sure you wash your hands. Of course, that's something you're supposed to do on a regular basis, but stay to yourself, stay away from people, because it's definitely highly contagious. So that's just my little tidbit. I don't know, it was just a very scary time for me, like, especially being here in LA alone, really, of like nobody's here to like help me if like something goes wrong. So my mom was just like really freaking out. So I'm just glad that I'm still here. I try to keep my immune system up, try to stay healthy, eat a lot of vegetables on a regular basis. And yeah, so you just definitely want to build up your immune system and just prepare. Like, you want to be ready, and just in case you do get it or anything else, because the flu kills people too. So you definitely want to make sure your immune system is up and you're ready for whatever. So that's just my recommendation. You definitely want to stay safe. So I'm hoping everyone out there is safe and healthy. And if you have the virus, I hope you make it through. And if you don't have it, just pray to God that you don't, because it is not pretty. Like, it was the worst. I've never felt that bad in my life, and I really thought I was going to die. Like, I kid you not. So that's just it. That's my little story time about my COVID-19 experience. I really wasn't technically diagnosed with it, but I definitely think that's what I had. So thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every last one of you. Like I said, please stay safe out there, stay productive, and try to stay positive through this hard time. Like, 'cause this is definitely a time where, you know, you can easily just fall off and just be like, oh my God, like, I'm so depressed. You can fall into a deep depression in a time like this, especially being away from your family and friends and not being able to socialize how you may want to, because not everybody is social. So but yeah, so thank you all again for watching, and like I said, stay corona free and stay healthy. Bye.